Hello everyone, and thank you once again for watching. This episode is going to be talking about Ramadan, but I just wanted to start by talking about the tragic events that happened in Manchester. It's been a really tough emotional week for a lot of people, and my thoughts and prayers are with those who have lost their lives and their families who are suffering due to this tragic event. It was an act of pure evil and cowardice. These people that carry out these attacks, they're not Muslims and they do not represent Islam. And I think for me, I didn't want to really pay too much attention to them. I wanted to give all my thoughts and energy to those who are suffering and who have lost their lives. It is a very emotional time, and I believe that the reason they do this is to divide us. And one thing that I've seen from this past week through social media and speaking to some of my friends who live in Manchester, the how the community has come together in such a difficult time and really has shown what humanity is all about. We've seen on social media the free taxi rides, the free rooms for people there who were stranded in Manchester, doctors and nurses and all the emergency services working throughout the night and day to help those who were injured and to help and give attention to those that needed. So I think, it was such a tragic event, but the response showed kind of what humanity is, what real, how humans can come together and be positive, and people of all faiths and communities really got together to help those that really needed the help. And I think that's a one positive that came out from this, that they try to divide us, but they never will. We will stand strong. And these people, they do not represent Islam, because in Islam, God says that if you take even one life, it is as if you have taken the whole of humanity. That is how precious and the sanctity of life is within Islam. A lot of times in the media is portrayed as being a very violent, but these people twist it to their own ideologies and their own kind of beliefs, and they're not, in my view, and they're not Muslims, they're not representative of Islam. But really, I just wanted to take some time and just say my thoughts and prayers are with those people who have lost their lives in Manchester, and we will never forget you. So I wanted now to talk a little bit about Ramadan, and this might be a good video for anyone who is unfamiliar, who is not a Muslim, and who may want to know more about Ramadan. Um, Ramadan has started for many people here in the UK, and what that means is that from the daylight hours to around about, I believe, 2:30 a.m. in the morning, you do not eat or drink until 9:30 p.m. in the evening, and the time slowly decrease throughout the month. And it is a spiritual month, a very blessed month. And I think for a lot of people during who think of Ramadan, they always the people who have never fasted before, the first thing that comes to their mind is, how on earth can you not go? How on earth can you go without food and water for such a long time? And I think it comes down to this. I think that if you have a belief in something and you have faith in something, then it gives you that energy and motivation to really get through the struggles and a lot of the physical struggles that are associated with fasting, the hunger and the thirst and all the other stuff. I personally am not really allowed to fast anymore. I will get to that in a moment. But just I wanted to talk mainly about Ramadan. It is a month of a reflection. It's a month of trying to become a better version of yourself, trying to maybe remove a little bit of the old habits that you have occurred in the last 12 months. It's a time where you share food and you share your kindness with people. Mosques are open for everyone, all religions or non-religious people is open for everyone to share food, to share drink, to welcome, be part of the community. I have a lot of non-Muslim friends who absolutely love Ramadan because it means that their neighbors who are Muslim provide them with the great big foods or dishes of food, because that's part of during observing Ramadan is to be more sharing, more charitable. And I think it's very an important time whereby it causes you to reflect on yourself and be more mindful and more grateful. I think for a lot of people it is very the act really makes you be more grateful about those who are suffering in other areas of the world. In my view, I believe that people, mainly in the Western world, we don't really. I don't think we've really ever known what real hunger is. If we're hungry, if we don't have anything in our cupboards or fridge, we go out and we can get something from the local supermarket or the local corner shop. And even if that fails, or if you are lazy, you can just ring and someone will deliver that for you, takeout. So I don't think we ever have really known what it really feels like to be hungry here in the Western world or anywhere that has access and means to be able to buy food and drink. The thought that people around the world do not even have access to clean water is something that really makes me quite upset. I have worked with water aid and trying to help people give water to those who need it. And I think it really makes you think about the people who do not have that option. I mean, as Muslims, you have fast, but at the end of the day, you have that option where you are going to eat again. So it's not something that it's not you fast with the knowledge that and belief that you are going to be able to eat again. But there's people in the world who don't have that option, who do not know when their next meal or drink is going to come. And I think if it makes you more mindful and more grateful for everything that you have. So I think it is a very spiritual month. I think Islam is all about tolerance and being kind to one another. And I think just want to say for everyone who is fasting, I hope you have a great month, guys. So I mean, in regards to myself, I'm not able to really fast because one of the requirement is that God states that fasting is prescribed to all those who are healthy enough to do so. I have some medical conditions that really need me to take medication. I need to constantly hydrate myself, especially with it being the warm summer months. In the past, when I have tried to keep a fast during the summer, it has led me to have an asthma attack. And asthma attacks are life-threatening, and I've spoken to my doctor and scholars, and I have to use my inhalers on a regular basis. I have to take tablets for my eczema. So in my circumstance, if I was to fast, my health would be affected quite a lot. So in that circumstance, what I do and what people do who are unable to fast, you give the equivalent of what a meal would cost for a person per day, and at the end of the 30 days you donate that money to charity or to someone who really needs it, and that is a way of giving back to the people who really need as a way of giving back for not being able to keep the fast. I think for myself, even though I'm not going to be fasting, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to take this month and take all the blessings within the month. I'm going to really use it to be more mindful, to be more charitable, to help as many people as I can, and to help those who are less fortunate than myself. So I think that's going to be really important. I am going to still try my best to keep to my diet and exercise, but really to everyone who's fasting, I hope you have a wonderful fast, and don't do what I always do on Eid day, which is, for anybody who's watching who is unfamiliar, Eid is kind of like the Christmas version. It's Christmas for Muslims, and what I think a lot of people will agree is that you probably eat 30 days amount of worth of food in just one day. It is pretty epic. But I wish all my Muslim friends a very blessed month. It's very sad that I'm unable to fast, because I did fast when I was younger during the winter days when it wasn't as difficult, and at the moment it is very difficult for me to be able to fast. But I hope that this information has been of some value to you, to especially non-Muslims as well, to maybe give you a little bit of insight. I think these days a lot of people's perceptions of Islam is dictated by what they see on the media, and if I was not a Muslim, then I would not blame anyone else for thinking the things that they do, because the media will never tell you the real truth. It will always show you the negative aspects, because controversy creates cash and negative news sells, unfortunately. I think there should be maybe a news channel that is dedicated to positive news, but maybe that's an idea for someone in the future to be able to bring about. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to keep you updated. I'm going to be doing a shopping video in the next couple of days just to show you what I'm buying and stuff like that. And I'm also going to do something called Zombies Run 5K trainer. I love zombies, I love The Walking Dead, and I really want to get into running. So I thought it was a perfect thing. It's an app that is going to train me to be able to run 5K. But I will talk about that in another video in future. But for now, thank you for watching, and if you want to follow my journey, please subscribe, like and comment if you found any of this useful. Bye guys.